So welcome back to the Dadskillz car channel and a new project. Yeah, so welcome back to the Dadskillz car channel. This is a new project to the channel for one video only. This is Betty. She's a 1991 Mini Cooper. Should we have a look around? Yes, look at Betty. Beautiful. Tahiti blue Mini Cooper. I'll try and get out the sunlight so you can see it properly. But this is my mate's car. Let's have a look on the inside. This car really takes me back to bowling round back hilly lanes in Wales with Pop driving, Dad in the passenger seat, us stuffed in the back there. Betty is clearly got a few more bits to do. She's a work in progress, but she's a beautiful little car. Right, let's take a look at what needs doing. So in the process of getting Betty back on the road, can you see in the back there are mounting points for the rear belts. Well, the bolts they started off using were a bit too long, and they actually came through the side, and they've pushed it out a bit. Oh, I thought they were all going to need welding, but I think that just needs knocking back in, that one. But this side, annoyingly, this is the side the petrol tank's on. Yeah, there we go. Oh, there he is. There we can see what's happened. This needs to come off. Don't want to do anything with the headline in, because it's all in situ, it's all in place. So we're going to have to be a bit clever with how we stop the heat spreading. So we need to take this off first. So there's something else we found. I'm guessing that is meant to go with that. So we may have to do something about that when we put it back together. Okay, cool. So does this mean, oh, now we can see through the bolt hole on the outside there. Okay. Does this come off easy, or am I just gonna break something? There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay, there we go. Brilliant. This is what I wanted, was this void here. Now, we have some cabling going down there, which I don't think is going to go anywhere near where we're going to weld. That's no problem. What this means I can do is I can stuff a heat-resistant mat down there that you would use for soldering, or plumbers would use or something. That will stop the fire going up this way. Below, we could actually set up a vacuum to pull anything down that way and out the way. I don't think we'll need to be fair, but... As you can see, that it just rises as it goes over there by what, 3 or 4 mil. So the idea of this is to get this level with this, or just a bit lower, and then we can fill it. It'll be fine. But it's not, the bolt hasn't penetrated this one, so it should be fine. I can't get anything on the other side of this to stop it. So we're gonna have to be really careful. Really nice. That's perfect. Nice and below where we want it. And there's no like weak creases in it by the look of it. I can't see anything. I can't see any holes or anything. So that can get filled. I don't want to go in cold, as it were, on the Mini. I want to sort of get some semblance of the settings here. And we'll use this scrap bit of metal. On. You know what? I think I'm pretty happy with that already. We're not doing anything structural, you know. This is just to fill a hole. So low power is all right. That looks all right to me. So inside, before we can get to the welding bit, we've got this heat resistant mat Try and lift that out there, somewhere like that. That's wedged in. It's down to about here somewhere. Should be absolutely fine. It's not going to get up past that. So the next thing is batches in the boot. And we have something like a 13. Yes. Now, I don't know if you know, but you're meant to disconnect the neutral, negative, ground, earth first. And that way, if you set about doing the positive first and you touched the body or you touched there, then you could do all sorts of damage. So neutral off first, and that way when you're undoing this one, you're not liable to touch. Right, I see. Tricky to get onto that one, but I don't think we're going to have to because it looks like it's going to come off anyway. We shall have a little look at that when we put it back on. See if we can get that on there a little bit better. So that's that there. That's that. Okay, tricky to get an earth, but I've gone onto the actual earth tag in the boot. We may have to come closer somehow. So the idea is before I hit this, I want to connect this side back to the car. Then we can start tapping it down. So nice and steady. I've got my fire extinguisher. Nice and steady, really slowly. Cause no issues. See how we get on. We've got to the point where I'm really happy with that. It was sort of 2 or 3 attempts, welding it, grinding it back, trying to get down to making sure we were down to no hole and nowhere where any rust could get through. And now we are can you hear that? There's a little bit there, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. It's about there somewhere, so we'll get that off, and then the next thing is we need to make sure that a bolt fits inside, so we haven't welded the inside of that thread up or anything. We should be good to go. I have put the seat belt back in. I'm going to leave this unconnected. I've taped up that connection in there. I seem to remember something about that was making something trip, so all I need to do now is try and relocate this piece of trim in there, and it's a bit tricky because there's nowhere to put the camera, and also the sun's shining through the window. Right, I'm going to have to use 2 hands. I'm going to come back to you and show you how I got on. So with the use of this stuff, all these bits and pieces, this side has gone in beautiful. Tucked that right back in there, perfect. Now this side, I just can't get this rubber to come up and over without damaging the headliner. I just can't get under there. So I think that's more or less where it was to start with. So that's going to have to do for that bit. But this side, beautiful. Inside my little hole I've made here. Just get that primer on. Doesn't matter what it looks like. It's going to be filled and rubbed down, all the rest of it. It just literally needs to cover that metal and etch into it. Right, is the big boy body filler that we've had sitting around for some time going to be any good? Okay. Second coat of filler, I've actually put it on a little bit thicker than I would do. I just want to make sure there's no holes in it when I rub it down. And this side's looking cool already. Now, I don't want to put primer on stuff that I don't need to. So we've got these tiny little patches. And I'm not worried yet about these edges because there's stuff I can smooth off before we put the final paint on, no problem. Don't worry about the runs, it's windy. We've got a reaction there already. Look, this side has gone really well. Lovely, ready for its blue paint. Giving it a bit of a wash off, but this side is being ever so slightly rude. So this that I've done, beautiful, really nice. There's a bit of a lump there, but no problem. We'll rub it all off, it doesn't matter. Inside there, below this is obviously old primer. Below that is old blue paint. Now, every time I come across that with the primer, it just lifts off and reacts. So it's been a bit of a job. I've had to gouge a bit out and start again with it, but we're getting there. So Betty is actually done for the moment, and until the Tahiti blue is in, Betty's going to go back to her owner for a couple of days. So that's this side is brilliant. This side is there too. Every time I just sand this back, I reach a little bit of metal there. So I've just dabbed on with a brush some of that filler, and then when it comes back, we'll give it one last little sand, and that'll be nice and smooth and ready. But that's pretty cool too. It's gonna look fantastic. Okay, a couple of weeks have passed. Now we've got Betty back. Nice and sunny today. Nice weather for it. So we have some Rover Tahiti blue. We've got a bit of a soft edge there, but I don't particularly want to go down this far anyway. But we shall start off very lightly. That is it. We wait. This side is probably up to maybe 5 or 6 passes. I'm going to do one more. Trouble is, the more you do, the more you can deepen the paint, especially with this metallic stuff. So, but I need to cover what's there. So, one more time, I reckon. What is it doing that for? And why would it want to do that? Hey! Okay, it's a different day. It's been repainted again. I don't know why, but that lacquer started coming off yesterday, so I had to sand it all down, start again. So I'm going to start in the middle and work my way down very gently. I think we're going to be okay. Excellent. I used a different lacquer as well, so because when I rubbed it down, there were places like the lacquer. There were places down here where I had to keep rubbing, and it went through to primer, which was annoying. But I think I'm going to be happy with the result. Okay, so you see where I've rubbed it down. You can see the bits that could do with a bit more rubbing, especially on the outside. You can see those pits. I'm not too worried about that, to be fair. You see all that, that's going to come up lovely, hopefully. Just put this tape round, because if this black stuff gets any of this paste on it, we'll never get it off. And so as that was 2,000 grit, I'm going to go with a 3,800. See if we can buff it up. The camera might actually be in the way, so we'll have to move that in a minute maybe. So I have to admit, yesterday, when I started rubbing this down and the lacquer started peeling off, I had to go and sit down for a moment. It just needed a moment of reflection. But today I'm so happy with how it came out. But that wasn't the end of the drama. Look at that, it's come out really nicely. That wasn't the end of the drama. Where I'd gone down here with the buffing wheel and stuff, I'd actually burnt into this bloody little side piece there, so I had to dab a bit of paint in there and then 3 times and then just rub it down. But look at that, I am really happy with that. I'm happy with the paint, I'm happy with the welding, but I think my filling could be better. So that's it from Dadskillz car channel for another video, and if you want to see how this happened, mentioning no names, but it was his fault, stay tuned, stay subscribed, and you'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.